got the mall membership. Like, dude, just keep spam out of my fucking inbox, alright? Sure.
Yeah, and really, the thing about virus protection, I feel like you only need it if you know you're going to go do shady shit. You know what I mean? It's like, if you're not doing shady shit, you're not going to have a problem. But if you know you're going off and downloading things you know that you should probably buy, that's where the virus protection comes in handy, is when you start doing things. Like, pretty much it's when you go down a dark alley in, like, Oakland and you're, like, trying to look for some crack. That's when you need your virus protection. But if you never are going to go do that, then you don't really need it.
Not to put it all on you, but one of the reasons why I ended up getting virus protection in the first place, we were having trouble with Skype, and you said to me, like, well, Ryan, just go to this place and download this thing so you can record it on your end. It's this software I use. Like, are you sure? Like, yeah, it should be the first one to pop up. It works really good. Like, really? Yeah, it works really good. First thing I know, like, you got a virus. Please push this button. My computer just totally freezes all this shit. Like, fuck! So now I had to go
somehow,
in
some way, you're probably the only guy to find the virus section. It was like...
It was on the first thing that pops up on fucking Google, too. So I'm like, motherfucker. So not to throw you under the bus on that, not blaming you. I knew the risks. I knew it was totally all the cool kids are doing it. Like, all right. I still don't even use that thing. We still found a way around it. I'm assuming we're probably already in the middle of the podcast now.
Oh, I haven't. I just started recording.
No? Haven't started recording yet? Okay, that would have been good shit, too.
They're like partially. They've been started for a while.
Okay, cool.
But hello and welcome to the Old Man Orange podcast. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
And I'm Ryan Dunigan. And we're doing something different. We're doing a retrospect. That's not different.
It's not really that fucking different. It's really like right in our wheelhouse, if I had to say something.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say the retrospect aspect is different about it, but it's definitely the movie choice is definitely different. But I think it's also something like, once I first heard about this, I'll say this. I didn't see the movie before, but I heard about it, and I heard kind of like a breakdown of the story in like another, like some weird random. I wish I wrote it down. I feel bad, but some retro review show on YouTube. And I'm like, okay, that sounds like a movie we need to watch for the podcast.
Well, it is one of those ones. Like, to me, it's like one of those ones. This movie to me feels very normal and like in my wheelhouse, but I could see how this movie would be so shocking. Like, if you showed this to like a group party, you'd be like, hey, we're gonna watch an animated movie, and they come in with fucking like, oh, it's gonna be just like good old like Beauty and the Beast, or fucking Rockadoodle or something like that. Like, and they come in with that attitude.
The guy who's coming at it from like, he's like, oh, I can't wait to watch fucking Rockadoodle or fucking Beauty and the Beast or some bullshit like that. It really appeases my childlike soul.
Yeah, last time that Ryan fella showed me the Constantine movie, and well, I think he's a Satanist now, boy. I tell you, I don't know if I trust him.
Want him to go to fucking hell, I'll tell you that much. And God, for this guy being so like genuine and childlike, he swears a lot. Yeah. Children are little bastards, they swear.
Well, he's not really a child. This guy's 35 years old. Yep, I remember those days. Oh God, why do we have to
fucking Morty? Oh, Rick always beats me, so I always have to go to my old childhood memories to watch movies. Like, Morty, you watching that stupid shit again?
But no, the movie that we chose to go with is the Felidae movie. The cat movie from 1994. A German cat movie that never got released into any English areas, oddly enough.
Das, was ich im Leben am meisten hasse, sind Umzüge. Ich hätte keine Pfote in dieses Haus setzen sollen.
Mit katzenartiger Geschwindigkeit eroberte ein Buch die Bestsellerlisten und begeistert und bewegt seit Jahren die Herzen der Leser. Felidae. Seither wartet ein Millionenpublikum auf die Verfilmung. Endlich ist es soweit. Der berühmte Katzendetektiv kommt in die Kinos.
Wie nennt man dich? Klugscheißer.
Francis.
Fertig.
Vertraue mir.
Wer bist du?
Er war hier. Aber wo ist er jetzt?
Ein Freund, der vom Himmel gefallen ist.
Du bist blind.
Ich bin nicht blind. Ich kann nur nicht sehen.
Felidae mit den Stimmen von Ulrich Tukur als Francis,
Mir kommt da eine wahnsinnige Idee.
Wahnsinn.
Mario Adorf als Blaubart,
Und der Schlaumeier da drüben heißt Pascal.
Uwe Ochsenknecht als Archie,
Aber Parkett ist das Mindeste, Gustav.
Helge Schneider als Jesaja
Explodierte auch das Traumland.
und als Pascal Klaus Maria Brandauer.
Die Evolution hat eine erstaunliche Vielzahl von Lebewesen hervorgebracht.
Eine Vorbereitung auf etwas ganz Besonderes, Unvorstellbares.
Felidae als Buch ein Sensationserfolg. Jetzt der Film.
Now, earlier you said this seems like something right up our wheelhouse. I think it is for the show. It's one of those things I'm surprised I didn't hear about this movie before, because when I first heard, there's every so often you'll hear about like a movie, whether it be Disney or something else, that came out like in the early 80s to, well, I'm going to say like, like early 90s as far back as like late 80s. And not like Ralph Bakshi shit. Every so often there'll be like, that you expect fucked up shit. But something like, I don't know, Don Bluth. You watch a Don Bluth thing, and sometimes his shit gets a little darker than you'd expect most kids' movies to be. Well, even like Black Cauldron, which was the first animated Disney movie to get a PG, maybe the first Disney movie to get a PG, which back then was PG-13, more or less. That movie, something about it, like, because there are literally scenes they took out, because there was like parts where just like, I'm surprised they showed that. They showed like an animated corpse, like skin forming back onto an animated corpse and a guy coming back to life, like real demonic type shit. And I think even in that movie they say like, this conjures the powers of Satan when they're talking about the goblet or the cauldron itself. So, and it, but it wasn't, when you watch that movie, it's not that bad really. Maybe it seemed pretty fucked up for the time, but it's not really that like all fucked up really. It's not like the metal song you think it might be. Where this one, it really catches you off guard, because you assume there's going to be, okay, you hear like, oh, this movie's kind of fucked up. You assume it's going to be kind of fucked up for like a kid's movie. It's not a kid's movie.
Well, it's weird because it's like, and well, this is the reason why we probably never heard about it, is it never got a release except for in Australia. That's the thing, is it, other than like Germany and France and, like those countries, as far as English-speaking countries, it never came to the US, never came to the UK, never came to Ireland, never fucking came to Canada or Mexico or anything like that. So, and it's weird because it has like this star-studded cast for the dub version. It's like, shit, would you just pay those guys off? I mean, granted, I guess in like, I don't know, it's just kind of weird. Like, pay those guys off and it's like, yeah, that dub's never going to see the light of day. Fucking send it to Australia. Send it to Mad Max Zone.
Place we already dub over.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's Mad Max.
Yeah, if it's Mad Max 1, you dub over Mel Gibson. But really, to me, it's like watching it, it's like, it's more just like in the lines of like, it feels like it's almost like it could be like a segment of like heavy metal / Ralph Bakshi style. So that's why I felt like, I'm like, oh, okay, that's why it felt like in my wheelhouse. Like, I totally get this. I could see where it'd be very shocking movie though. If you're like, hey Billy, we're gonna go down to the Blockbuster and rent a movie. Oh, here's one. Felidae, or, whatever the fuck that says. It's got cats on it.
Seems like
you like the
nice cat
Aristocats,
fella.
don't you? You're kind of weird and fruity like that. Come on, Billy, let's get you a movie. So I don't have to hear you fucking talk for an hour and a half.
Now put on your muzzle, get out of the fucking cage.
Yeah, that's what you get when you stay at Uncle's house. But, you know what I mean? Like, that would be the one where, like, you whip that movie on. Granted, now you would never be able to do this, because once again, it was never released here. But, I can see where it'd be like, oh, what the fuck? Oh, Jesus. Oh, your mother's I'm never gonna hear the end of this now.
Well, the thing about the movie is it doesn't even look like it would be like a Ralph Bakshi movie. It actually, I can see if you just put this on in the background and somebody just walked in and didn't see like a violent part, they assume you're probably watching a Disney movie or something. But as someone who like watches, we cover a lot of animated movies on here, I think it looks more similar to like a Don Bluth style cartoon.
Yeah, well, yeah, I definitely think it looks like that, because it has a high production value, and they said that this is the most expensive movie ever made in Germany for an animated film, and even to this day,
Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things where, watching it, kind of going in and knowing what it is, because I kind of knew, I mean, all the little things I didn't know, but I kind of knew the major story beats were going to happen. I just said, dude, just check this movie out. It seems kind of weird, it seems kind of fucked up, let's check it out, And the thing is, okay, yeah, you get cats dying, but it's not like, oh, a few scratches and that's it. I mean, it is fucking brutal deaths. This is kind of like the best way I can think to describe it, and I'm not trying to be funny here. I honestly think this is a good way to describe it. I mean, it's kind of girl with dragon tattoo with cats.
Yeah, well, it's also like it's a noir. That's totally what it is. And it's like a murder mystery investigation of like where, you know, this one cat shows up to this town in Germany, and it's like he's just moved in and he's got like of course, this is like what really takes you back when you know what year this movie is. When it shows the cat's owner walking in, and they always kind of do it where you never really see their face, you just see it from their feet. He's literally got those almost like leather sandals that had the little belt loops on it that you could latch on. I was like, oh fuck, I know what year this is. It's like, I don't know what I saw those sandals and it was like, shit, that gave it away more than anything else. Other than, I mean, I know it says specific dates in that movie too, but like those sandals, when I saw that guy walking in, he's kind of like
Boy George song playing in the background.
I know, I love Boy George going on and stuff, and I just love how he's like, okay, come on, this is our new house. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna renovate and shit. It's gonna be cool. Look, see that toilet over there? Yeah, put a new one in later on. Come on, cat. We're gonna do it together. Gonna get you a job.
The cat's name is Francis, and he narrates the movie kind of like a noir. And when I said like girl with the dragon tattoo meets, you know, with cats, the reason I say that because as it goes on, it's more of like definitely noir, and that series, that show, that movie, that movie and book itself is still noir. But I mean, how violent it gets and how it kind of goes to these crazy conspiracy level shit that you wouldn't expect it to, you know? Because as it goes on, he gets out there, and pretty early on, he's just walking around the house enjoying it, just like, okay, so we go around, and my owner, they call their owners can openers because they feed them. That's what they feed them. They
well, really, I think it's just Michael Madsen calls them that. And then all of a sudden it's like, then Francis starts using that term like, oh, that must be a nice, endearing term for him.
Yeah, I think that maybe Michael Madsen's the one that used it. Did you watch this? I'm assuming you watched it in English?
Yeah, I watched it well, I was going to watch the dub version because mainly it's like a lot of times if it's a foreign movie, I like to see like what it is. And then I turned on the one with subtitles, and it literally had the thing where there were subtitles on top of subtitles. I'm like, well, fuck this. I'm not watching that version. Then like there's no way you're going to be able to read it. Because it was like see-through subtitles. It was like stupid. So I watched the English version, which realistically, the English version is really good. I mean, like, got the fucking all-star cast. I mean, you got Francis played by Carrie Elways, and you got fucking Michael Madsen cat outside. You know, that's all I can think of. It's like, I know he's got a name called Bluebeard, but I just call him Michael Madsen cat.
Mr. Blonde.
Yeah, just out there. He's just out there. He's like, do you want to see something fucked up? You're like, oh, well, what are you doing? He's like... You're like, check it out, there's a dead body out there.
I've been squatting your house, literally pissing in it. It's my pissing hole. All right, it's great.
Which really, I love how Francis, like, the first thing you think is like, hey, you know this cat that's fucking missing an eye and all scratched up and got like a fucking limp and his tail's chopped off and shit, and there's just a dead body out there? You ever start to wonder if maybe he was the guy that was killing him? You know what I mean?
That was one of those things like, is it going to go there? I hope it's not as predictable as that. Like his friend's the one doing it. But you go out there and they see this cat has a slit throat. And, you know, it's a little bit more graphic than you expect it to be. But then, you know, it's like, okay, well, I guess already because of the language, I already knew what the movie was. But
see, I didn't know anything going into it. I was going in cold. All I knew is there was a cat on the cover and that was it.
So were you a little like, oh wow, when you saw like some of the violence right off the bat?
It actually didn't shock me at all. I was never shocked by this movie one bit. I mean, I think it's awesome, the violence, but to me, I guess it sounds so weird. It's almost like I could see where this movie would be so shocking, but like to me, it just felt like, oh, this is cool. It's just another like, you know, rated R movie like Heavy Metal or, you know, like a, you know, Ralph Bakshi film or something because it's got that older style to it. That's just what it feels like with real good production quality, like Don Bluth Disney style and so on. So it didn't really shock me, but like I just think it's cool.
I guess the Disney quality, it's not like I'm offended or anything. I'm surprised I didn't know about it, but like you said, it only came out, only English speaking place it came to was Australia. But I guess it's just the level of violence with the amount of money behind it. Because I mean, I expect that with something like Heavy Metal or Ralph Bakshi. I don't expect that when it looks this good, when it looks like a Disney movie or a Don Bluth movie. So leaning more on the Don Bluthness, as I said earlier. But yeah, so they kind of like, all right, well, let's try and figure this out. Like, well, first off, he smells like sex. It smells like he was fucking earlier, but he's out of his prime. They're just kind of hanging out. He just starts hanging out with this cat named Bluebeard. And I'll be honest, I watched half the movie in German, the other half in English, because I started off just watching it in German, and then I was gonna come back to it later and finish it off.
Did they have shitty subtitles when you looked at the German version? Maybe just the one.
No, it was just the closed caption stuff that.
Yeah, the one I looked at is just like I was watching on my PlayStation, so maybe I didn't get those choices, but it was just like. Yeah, it was literally subtitles on top of subtitles. Like somebody clearly didn't edit that properly or what have you.
Yeah, and maybe I shouldn't admit this on the podcast, but I was kind of like, you know what? I really got some other stuff I got to do while I'm working on this, so I kind of brought up another window and just put the English version on and just worked on some drawings while watching it. Mm-hmm. So, not gonna lie, I kind of cheated, but I was still watching the movie pretty well. So, going forward though, it's one of those things where I guess this movie's weird because it kind of tiptoes. I mean, obviously cats are talking to each other, but it kind of tiptoes into supernatural shit because Francis starts having these nightmares about the cats being murdered in town, and it all gives him clues to where to go next. But I don't remember if that part happened first or if he's still hanging out with Bluebeard, but then this is probably one of the funniest, most confusing parts of the movie, to me at least, is when they're going along and they come across these two, like, scraggly Siamese cats.
Like the crack
Bluebeard's
cats.
like, the crack cats, he's like, oh, they're castrated, that's why they're so scrawny and you can't fucking trust them. And then this thing, they say it's a fucking cat. I don't really know.
It looks like a dog in a costume.
Yeah. His name's Kong. He comes out, and he is like, this is probably my favorite character and the most confusing part of the thing. Because the first thing he does when he comes out, he's this big, boisterous, he looks like a monster out of that Ralph Bakshi movie. But not Ralph Bakshi, Don Bluth. He says, well, look who it is. It isn't Bluebeard and his new butt buddy. You guys hanging out on the gay scene? All right, so they just met him, and that also lets you know when it is. Clearly,
90s.
Like, late 90s, they're already making gay jokes in there like that. And then he goes on, not maybe even a minute later, threatens Francis with rape. He says, oh, look at all these gay boys. If you're going to come around here later, I'm going to have to fuck you. You know, and just like, okay. And he mentions it like 2 or 3 times in this one scene, talking about fucking this cat. Like, he's his prison bitch.
Yep.
But then he's always accusing people of being gay. So it's like he's got all like this pent up rage. Like, I can't do that here in Germany.
Well, there's a part I know this a little bit later on where like they fight. He finally finds him. He's like, I'm gonna get you, boy. And he's like, they're like at a basement and whatnot. And then there's like the 2 crack ones up there. Like, yeah, man, you get him, you know. And he's just like, they're trying to fight. Yeah, he's like, you go down, then you give me some catnip. And then like they fight and everything like that. And then the next thing you know, the battle's like raging on, and they go outside, and all of a sudden there's just like this dead cat, and he like literally stops. Like everything changes. Like, oh god, oh Jesus. And at first it's like I thought they were gonna make that cat just like, who's that? Well, that's Billy. I mean, I love Billy. And it's like they make it a woman. It's like, oh, okay. I think it would have been much more hilarious if it was a guy.
No, I don't think so. Maybe I put too much thought in this. I think that was his cover-up. Because he's like, how could he do that to Solitaire? Solitaire! Her name is Solitaire. She's alone. I'm just going, maybe I'm looking too much into it. And then later they're having their little cat meeting. And he's just like, they killed Solitaire! That's the one I love! Like, dude, you could stop pretending like you loved her, alright? We all know. We all fucking know. She's dead. I'm pretty sure that, Kong was like, that was like, he was like her gay friend. I'm pretty sure that's what that whole situation was right there. And I feel like, it's like, I just can't tell the other cats. That's why I kind of tell them that we're dating. Like, Kong, you're not really, it's not that believable. I mean, whenever you meet somebody, you immediately accuse them of being gay, and then you threaten to fuck them. So I don't know what your angle is, but you gotta rethink it. You're not fooling anybody. The new one who you actually threatened to fuck earlier tonight, he already pieced it together. He knows, dude. Come on.
Yeah,
he figured
a smart
it out.
ass.
He just got
according to fucking Michael Madsen.
I mean, you don't gotta be the greatest cat detective to figure that one out, man. I mean, they're all on to you. The only ones that don't question it are just the the crackhead cats because they follow you around just because they know they're gonna get crack.
Yeah, because they know that you got some catnip on you, and you're gonna get them hooked up. And then also too, when you guys all get fucking high, you all just get into some kind of cat orgy and just kind of
don't judge.
And you always say that like it's nothing gay when you're on catnip.
We don't judge, but I mean, it's Europe. It is what it is, but come on, you could drop it. You could drop it. We're enlightened here.
Yeah, exactly.
Not like the States.
But I like how it's like it just kind of goes in this like investigation, and then like of course they find like they're like, oh, like Michael Madsen's like, I'm gonna introduce you to this other cat I know. He's fucking smart and shit like you.
I think before they even have that though, they have there's the whole committee thing. Here's the thing that's so weird, because before they go to like the one cat who's super smart, he's in his room and he's having a nightmare. And I want to say this nightmare, he's just listening to music. He's just like, owner comes in once again doing like the cow and chicken thing where they never show the parents'
They show like their legs.
But like he's just like, oh, Francis, let me put on your favorite music. He just puts on like some Bach or some shit. The cat's sitting there, and then he has this nightmare where this faceless doctor starts to put a leash on him and drag him into this hole. And then, like, the doctor turns around, there's a hole where the face should be, and these cat eyes appear. And then he wakes up, and he's just like, that's when something stirred me in the middle of the night. And he goes upstairs, and there's a bunch of cats having this whole cult mass suicide thing. And they're all just chanting, and there's just one big fat cat. And he's just up there. I think his name was that Joker? I think that was Joker.
Joker was like the cult leader cat.
Yeah, that was Joker.
Who apparently was the one that was played by Christopher Plummer, from what it says on IMDb. It's weird because there was only like 5 of the actors mentioned in the English version, and I could not, to save my life, find the rest of them. Like there was nobody on the internet. This movie has like little to no information for some odd reason.
It's based on a book series that was going on until 2012. I do know that.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the cover of the book?
Negative. I didn't see the book cover. I just saw the cover for the movie.
It is fucking haunting. I swear to you, it is not. I don't expect it. I didn't expect it to look like the artwork from the movie, but it is a fucking creepy ass picture. It's just this angry cat, and the cat has. I'm assuming it's Francis, because this orange cat appears on other covers of the book. But it's just this creepy-ass looking cat just staring you down like, the fuck you doing here? Has all this black behind it, and its eyes look human. So it's just this weird thing. I encourage people to go check that out, because it is just fucking haunting.
Well, they said this movie's like extraordinarily accurate to the book, too. I mean, the book's, of course, longer just because it's a book, or just more in-depth, I guess you would say. But for the most part, it's like all the same.
Mm-hmm. I just sent it to you if you feel like looking at it.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, it's one of those things where the guy who wrote the book...
It just says Google.
Really? You didn't click on it? Doesn't say nothing? Oh, motherfucker. Didn't show the image or nothing?
No, it just shows the Google image. No worries.
Try clicking on it, because, check it out when you can. If you don't see it there, check it out when you can, because it's a very creepy looking cover. Anyway, it's just a picture of a cat's face. That's all it is, but just the way they drew it and the lighting. It's one of those things where the guy who actually wrote the book helped pin the script, so it is very accurate to the movie. I even kind of I didn't read the book, but I went on Wikipedia, tried to read the whole thing, but went through not through like what the Wikipedia article says. Everything seems pretty faithful and pretty on point. But anyway, so Francis is watching this mass cult and watch some of these cats just jump into, like, they have this little, like, some kind of, like, generator going with beams of electricity. And here's the one thing, because other deaths in the movie are very gory and very violent, but these ones are the one cartoony ones. The cats jump into electricity, that's where their eyes get big, like, their first, like, shoots out, like, it's all, like, like a Looney Tunes cartoon. They fall over dead, just like, like spasming and shit.
Yeah, they're like, come to the next world, you will join, relinquish this body. And that's what they're just going with, is like that kind of cat cult. And of course, like everybody in town like shows up. It's just like, what the fuck? It's just what we do on a Tuesday. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing, because when Francis looks down there, he sees Bluebeard, Michael Madsen cat, and then the other cats that
Kong's
try to fuck
there.
him. They try to fuck him later that night, and they're all chanting. And then they start chasing him down, and that's where he bumps shoulders with this blind cat, who's just this blind, whimsical cat who I don't even remember her name, but don't get attached to her. And she just kind of goes off this whole like thing of like, you know what? I'm grateful I'm here. Like, well, you don't remember nothing? I remember a figure above me, and then nothing after that. You're just like, oh, so I think a human took your sight. Were you tested on? Like, maybe. I don't remember. I was too young. So she just kind of gives off, like, you know, information talking about, like, and it's kind of funny. He says, like, do you hear anything weird at night? Nothing really, other than the death cries. Wait, what? Yes, they're very common. They just happen around here. Just like, not a big deal.
Just sounds like people having sex.
Yeah, and they're all looking. They're just, it's like, it could be sex, or they could be dying. One or the other. I can't tell the difference anymore.
I'm fucking blind. Yeah.
What you want me to do? I'm fucking blind. No, and then that's when...
And then that's the one, too, she's like, no, I think the humans are the greatest people ever, you know? Like, why would anybody take in a blind cat like me?
Yeah, and then that's when Bluebeard pops in, like, hey, just so you know, they just wanted to talk to you. They weren't trying to kill you or nothing. And I just think it's
want to
funny.
Fondle your balls a bit, just saying. It's what we do at those meetings. That's the only reason I show up to them. Shit, get somebody to fondle your balls for, an hour or two.
I just like the idea of them showing up and he's just going like, hey, it's a death cult meeting. Are you part of the club? Not really, I just show up. Why? Because it's fucked up.
Dude, just here, I mean, like, God, Tommy jumped into the electricity and just fucking died there. I just had to laugh. I fucking hated that cat.
I just have to show up. I just want to show up and we take bets. Me and Kong, we don't really like each other. We'll take bets on who thinks going to shoot into the everlasting electricity bolt or whatever. Do you believe this shit? Fuck no, I don't believe it. It's just fun to watch. People killing themselves? Shit, we're not like we're going to watch TV around here.
I just love how Bluebeard is he's like this guy that, like, really, Francis puts, like, all his faith in this guy, but he just seems like he's such, like, this wild card character. And granted, he never does anything wild card like. You know, he's totally, like, there's never a point where it's like he backstabs him or anything like that, but it just seems like throughout this movie, it's like, God, you're really going to trust this guy? Like, out of everybody here? Like, he just seems like the guy who's going to fuck up, and he never does. He never fucks up that one at all.
It's kind of like, well, I almost feel like it's sort of a Sherlock and Watson, but not Watson is like always one step behind Sherlock.
Or not like in young Sherlock Holmes, where he's like, oh, Sherlock, but there's, I don't know why I say like a German voice, like, oh, the donut store is there, I have to stop. He's like, come on, Watson, you cannot stop, you're just a fat fuck.
Not even that, it's more like Watson showed up like strung out on heroin. And that's the reason he's staggering behind. He never, like, fucks up so bad, but it's more like, Sherlock, I'm so sorry, but they were given away for free on the corner. Like, free on the corner? It doesn't work that way. He says the first one is free. Oh, Watson, we just got you clean. Oh, come on, we're late.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah, one of those ones. But it's just like, no matter what, he always still seems to work out. And
that's when he takes him to, whatchamacallit, to, I think I already forgot the name of the actor, but takes him to the other cat, the cat who's the very smart one who knows how to work a computer.
Yeah, exactly. It's like he's got a programming database. None of these cats fucking question it. Just like, oh, huh.
John Hurt, Pascal. That's the cat's name, Pascal.
Oh,
and they mentioned that what's going on there is they're talking about the they're talking about they all follow this divine cat, this cat that was just this, the god of cats, really. And then Francis starts to piece together that, oh, well, there was this lab that did all these tests on cats, and this one particular cat, Patricius, I believe it was, something to that effect, he was the only cat that ever survived. And they show like some of the testing, like they'll like drill a little hole in the cat's head, drop acid in there, and
that's the part even before or that might come afterward. But the fucking Francis finds that VHS tape just like in the basement of like their new building they just like started to live in, pops it in, and then it shows like from like 1980 to like 89 or something like that. It's like these like all these tests, and it shows the scientist guy just like day 12, 1981, we have some cats to test on. Funding has come in. Then you see him like kind of like drinking in the background just lightly. And, they're just cutting open cats and testing them and drilling, in them. And it's not till they find, what was that cat's name again?
The blind cat?
No, not the blind cat. The, The cat?
Smart cat?
No, not the smart cat. The cat that's literally like the one that survives the test finally. The one they call the cat god.
Yeah, I think Patricius.
Yeah, Patricius. They get him, they're like, oh, Patricius, he'll be our new mascot, and so on like that. And then they get to the point where it's like a couple years later, like, shit, we don't have any more cats. I guess we'll just have to use our mascot cat now and test on him. And so they're like cutting him open and everything like that. And he's like the first cat to survive this test, which I can't really figure out what the exact test was that they were going on. They were just testing on cats. And they're fucking like, it's just some guys just fucked him. He's like, I invite my scientist friends over. We get fucking hammered and grab some alley cats and just cut them open.
Well, they mentioned they're trying to find like a way of the cats kind of get their own theme, their own idea later in the line, but it starts off, I want to say they're trying to find a way to try to beat death, I guess, and they're trying to do different weird tests on cats to do that. It was something to that effect. And you see through the videos, more and more people start to leave. The scientist starts to get more drunk, to the point where he's the last one, and he doesn't even have any electricity left. He just has all these candles lighting the room. He's like, get over here, cat! Ah! He's like talking to the cat, like the cat's talking back to him.
He doesn't have any electricity left, but he's like, I still got enough charge in my video camera.
Oh yeah, well, just because I'm going off the other candles. I don't think he was doing any ritual shit. Maybe he was doing ritual shit.
No, I don't think he was doing ritual stuff. I think it was just supposed to be like, I can't fucking afford it.
Yeah, and he just keeps on doing these tests on these cats. And something we forgot to mention, that, as we said earlier, all these cats start dying off. The big one, right after he talks to, I think Pascal, which is the smart cat, voiced by John Hurt, on the computer, he runs back and he's just like, wait a minute, these are all the cats that have been killed? And he's going down the list of cats that are likely to be killed or cats that were killed just by this little cat algorithm he came out with. And it's also that goes by their genetics too and breed. And he talks about like, and then he sees it and he sees, oh wait, what? That's the blind cat I met last night. He runs back to the blind cat.
Like, oh yeah, fucking dead.
And not just dead, like full on decapitated.
No, but I like how it's like the smart cat's like, yeah, she's dead. Well, you didn't hear the news? Like, oh, I was fucking there an hour ago. Yeah, I got the message 20 minutes before you showed up.
Yeah, and then he gets out there. He's like, what the fuck? He goes back. And so he kind of like forgot that part. But yeah, then he just has this other dream, this is like something like, this would probably fuck a kid up if you showed him this part. That's where the animation even changes for this. Francis has another nightmare where there's like just this, literally a sea of dead, rotting cats. And there's this priest/scientist who just oversees them all, and he's all just weird, kind of like flickering animation. It's kind of sketchy. And he just brings up like these, like, those, I don't know what you call them, but those things you hold down to like control a marionette puppet. Mm-hmm. Comes down, all these dead cats that are just falling apart or just all hanging around Francis. You're like, what the fuck? This is like something straight out of a horror film. Like that part, like I was like, I think that was like the screen capture on the video that made me like, all right, I gotta know what this is.
Yeah, just like guts and organs and everything just falling off and like, just all kinds of copious amounts of violence there, and it's pretty cool looking and everything. And he's just having this like nightmare of this like priest guy going after him and so on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that, like, I feel just the way Francis. I mean, aside from the violence and that part being really just like, oh my god, I can't believe the amount of detail they got into that. Like, I'm really impressed by that. But more than anything, I think one of the best things about that scene is the way they animated Francis's face. Because he just, like, looks so fucking terrified. More different than he did at any other point in that movie. And it's just actually, you feel legitimately bad for him in that scene.
Oh, yeah. You just feel like the pure terror. Well, that's the thing about this movie. This movie has, like, about the top-notch animation you could possibly have. That's the thing, is because mostly movies that are, like, in this kind of caliber, mostly always reserved for, like, cheap animation and, experimental stuff and so on. And I think that's, like, what kind of makes it such a special movie, is the fact that, like, it has, like, the high caliber of a Disney movie or a Don Bluth film or, like, the best of the best you can think of. That's what this movie has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And it's one of those things, after that, he then starts doing a little bit more research and comes around. And that's where he has that bump in with with Kong, who's like, once again, like, boy, I'm gonna fuck you, but I'm not gay. Wait, what? And just chases him around.
Yeah.
And that eventually leads them down to they see this old, weathered, beat up cat, and he follows it down there, and shortly after, Bluebeard tumbles behind him. And they get down, and there's this whole... They actually made a pun about it. And he says, like, look, it's a catacomb. Because there's all, like, these cat skeletons around, like, built into the walls and all that. He's like, is that a joke? You know?
Yeah, the Michael Madsen one kind of points that out, like, in a funny way.
Yeah. Was that a joke? Yeah, like that. And they get out there, and they have this whole temple built around just cat skeletons and cat corpses. And he's like... I was chosen by Parnassus, or whatever his name was, or whatever the cat, or Patricius. The gods would just drop the cats upon me, and it was my job to govern the dead and look after them. But they haven't sent me any in years. Like, what? Like, yeah, we haven't sent in years. So I went up to look for the dead. Like, so you weren't killing them? No, I would just bring them down here. But they would used to bring them to me. So they're trying to figure out, okay, so before someone was killing these cats and dropping them down there for this guy, but now lately nobody has been dropping anything down there, but all these killings are still happening.
And this is where they realize it's like, oh, it hasn't, because at first they're thinking like, oh, there's like 6 cat murders or so on like this, and they're like, no, there's 460 cat murders throughout the years. And they even have this like town meeting. So it's like everything, even though like they were all trying to murder Francis like at some point, or, you know, as, you know, Michael Madsen would say, they just wanted to talk, you know, and maybe, you know, stroke each other's nuts a little bit, just one of those kind of cults.
Yeah, if they're just like, you know, they just don't want to rub catnip on each other's faces.
Yeah, you know, and just snort some cream out of a bowl and call it good. You know, it's one of those cat things, you know.
Well, I like that episode of South Park where they leave the cat alone.
The cat orgy.
Episode.
I think it's one of the funniest fucking episodes.
They just start snorting up catnip and just start pissing and farting.
I think that's one of the most hilarious. That's that 3-part episode too, where like it ends with like the Moses part, like at the Jewish like Boy Scout camp.
The Jew Scouts.
Yeah, the Jew Scouts.
Don't mind Kitty. Kitty's in heat right now. God damn it, Kitty!
It's like just like the point where it just goes insane. Like, just can't help but laugh so hard during that.
I just love them when they start literally snorting catnip and just start just. But anyway, and that was the Wild Wild West thing too, wasn't it? Wasn't that also happening?
Yeah, that's also wiki wiki wow wow wiki wiki.
Sam the Hike and yes, I think they start making the Sam the Hike. Anyway,
yeah.
You have topic anyway. South Park. So it's cats fucking that too.
Yeah.
So he has this town meeting and he's like, "That's fucked up, right?" Like, "Yeah, don't worry, we're all look into this. That's really weird." And here's like the most, I give it credit for doing this, but here's like one of the most like awkward scenes. Like, this is if you put the movie on the party, it'd be like, okay, so this movie has swearing and a lot of violence, okay. But then I never thought you have a movie that would be partially like a movie that, you know, a cat movie that's partially rated R because of sexual content, because
and it's an animated cat movie too.
And I like how he gets out there, and there's this one like cat that's one of those like, I guess almost like a minx kind of cat,
like those
Siamese
Egyptian ones.
Yeah, something like that. And the cat's all like meow, meow. You know, and then he's like, "Oh, what's up? What's up?" And he just starts literally fucking this cat. And then they do the thing cats do when they're done. He's like, "Get away from me! Get away!" He gets back up. He's like, "Oh, you're all done? Want to go again? That's fucking hot," you know. It just the thing is, it holds on it too, and then the one starts to go again. It pulls away, pulls up to a tree, and they're just 2 birds fucking.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you thought you were done watching animal fucking?
No.
Nah.
No, keep going. Keep going.
These birds are like, "Man, those cats would be eating us right now if they weren't fucking. Let's fuck to celebrate."
Yeah. But yeah, it's like it has that part. I was actually kind of surprised, like at first when like you're like, "Oh, this movie's like super rated R," like that's what I thought. I'm like, "Oh shit, this is gonna be one of those movies where it's just gonna be filled with that kind of stuff." That's what I thought it was gonna be, just like cat orgy galore. And it's like, oh, there's actually only one scene, and they almost do it like, it sounds odd, but they almost do it more like tastefully. Like it just feels like it just happens to be like that. It seems to be like, you know, if it was any other movie, let's say it wasn't Cats, it was just like that was just, you know, your normal sex scene in an 80s movie, or, you know, I guess early 90s movie. You know what I mean? It's, you know, it's not like one of those ones where it's like it just goes at it for like fucking hours.
It's not like, or it's like one of those things that you say tastefully, as if it's like the silhouette, like sex scene from Top Gun.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's kind of like that, but with cats and more cat-like. It's very cat-like because the thing is, like, the mannerisms of the cat are like very dialed in, like stuff that you would like never see in other movies about kind of animals. Just like small things, like even the part 2 when like fucking like Michael Madsen like comes in, he's like, smells like sex in here, and then he's just down there, he's like literally sniffing the cat like fucking litter box, like something that like a cat would do, but you would never see somebody fucking animate that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or even how like Michael Madsen just kind of like shows up and just like pisses on something, just like there's like like Bluebeard was here.
Method acting.
I
can see Michael Madsen doing that in real life.
Exactly, one of those ones. But how it has like just like the way that like cats sort of move and the things that they do that like everybody else would like ixnay in their like animated like movie, but they do it in this one. And it's almost kind of odd when you think about like somebody had to sit down and fucking draw page after page after page of animatics of this. And then in real life they're like, well, think of if you watch a fucking cat, that's what they're doing.
Yeah, it is pretty accurate how cats act in that aspect, just because it treats a lot of the manner like, because every so often you'll see somebody like some cringe video of like an anime cat girl trying to be all cute and being all just, it's kind of weird and awkward to watch. It's like, yeah, you're doing all the fucking cute shit, but you're not doing the gross shit cats are known for doing. And this movie's like, no, they fucking do that. They do all that shit.
Well, I was looking for information on this movie because it was just so hard. I literally was going down, like, I was like on a couple pages into Bing, and then all of a sudden it was like, came up like Wiki Furry, and I was like, oh, I'm afraid to click on this, but I wanted to see what the voice actors were for the English version, and clearly nobody else was giving it to me. And I clicked this, like, oh, okay, it's just a normal site that just happens to be all cat and animal oriented, but I was afraid of what was going to come on the other side.
Oh, I guarantee you there's furries that love this movie. This movie probably helped some people realize they were a furry.
Yeah, this movie would probably be in that kind of category. Though, I guess it's like this one's like very animal-like, where it's like, I always feel like people furry-like are more like bear and, I don't know, I guess they are cat-like too.
I feel like the whole thing is because they're not anthropomorphic animals. When I think furry, I think
people that like Sonic a little too much.
Yeah, like Sonic.
They're not. Sonic they've gone beyond being a hardcore gamer to being just a hard something gamer.
Yeah, they're not a hardcore gamer. Just something hard, but not a gamer.
You're not a gamer anymore. You gone past being a gamer to something else. You kept the hard part, but you didn't keep anything else.
I just think of that line and like. Most random pool I'm probably gonna have all month. There's that line in Chronicles of Riddick, like half alive, half something else. So you think?
Well, there was even like a couple pages into this when I was still trying to find information, which I never really could. There was something that like it was like an article that said like Sonic and Disney is like Felidae, and I was like, what? The fuck is this? And then I didn't see any Sonic in there, nor did I see Disney, so it led me astray, but I was wondering what the fuck was going on with that.
Well, I think the whole, like, when I think furry shit, I think it's just generally, well, it didn't start off that way. I think it started off with, like, okay, anthropomorphic animals, because those, you generally already kind of have an idea of the character's personality just by what animal they are.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, you get some, whether it was like, Disney animation or whatever else in between, you got people getting attracted to them and then trying to add more, like things like Lola Bunny or whatever, trying to add more curves to them and try and give them those big eyes and shit. And I think that fucking pushed that and started out like in Sonic shit. I think that pushed and made people realize, and some of it I don't even think was intentional. I think some people just latched onto that, or some shit I think that was people trying to put in like, yeah, then Lola Bunny's gonna bend over and get the fucking basketball. Why? Which is fucking hot. I mean, it's a fucking rabbit.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like some people, it's like, before it was just like, oh, okay, here's just, like the girl bunny character or something like that. And Nobody thought about it. No, it's just totally like, well, whatever. We got fucking a male bunny character. Why can't we have a girl bunny character? And then all of a sudden, there's just that one guy who shows up. And I always say a guy because I'm pretty sure that more than likely, like 90% of these things are guys. I mean, I kid you not. When we were at like the anime con, there was literally a furry convention part, and I was like, shit. I remember I told Josh, I'm like, dude, we gotta go to this. I just want to see what the fuck this is. This is gonna be so weird. And it was like, oh, it's the same time as the Cowboy Bebop one. Fuck that. It was just like, but I really wanted to know, because I bet you, I'm like, you'll have stories galore from this. This will be like priceless fucking jokes that will come from this. Like, oh, fuck it. Oh, you got Spike Spiegel over there? Oh, you know where I'm going.
Stephen Bloom? Yeah, fuck that.
It's just like, yeah, you want to find, like, probably nothing else would have outweighed that, like, things. Just because, I mean, like, I bet you it'd be so fucking hilarious to see this. You know what I mean? Because, like, literally, here's the thing. If you were a furry, you know that there's nothing serious about that.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I guess I'm not... It's fun to poke at, but at the same time, I'm not really trying to judge, because I almost had, like, this whole, like, 360 thing with it. Like, with... that came out wrong. But when we were at the Modesto Con, we were at the Modesto American Graffiti Con, there was this one guy walking around, and it was just so weird and haunting. And it went from being like, to me and Spencer, just not literally pointing and laughing at the guy, like, to his face or anything, but, you know, like men behind his back. And
like chuckling like little schoolgirls as he walks by.
Yeah, just kind of laughing at this guy. And then every so often he'd take his fucking mask off, and I felt kind of bad for him, because he looked like... Because, all right, here's the thing. Wolf mask, but he's wearing, like, this workout Batman Arkham Asylum, like, workout... It's made to look like fucking Batman's gear, but it's like a workout, like, Under Armour type shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And then jeans. And then he has these gloves on. Furry feet, gloves on, and then the mask, and he's just doing weird little dances around like a total fucking creep. And then we're just expecting this to be some weird, you know, like socially awkward teenager. Pops it off. It's like a balding dude,
like 60 years like, old or something. Like, I remember being like, what? It was like one of those ones where it's like, oh, this isn't even funny anymore. Like, what the fuck is going on?
And I felt bad for him, because I can only imagine the idea of, like, trying to realize that's what you're into that late in life, and then like for a time for it to be accepted, but you're old and creepy now. So what? You know what I mean?
Well, this is the guy who's like fucking 25 years old going to see fucking Robin Hood in 1973, and he like leans over to his buddy. He's like, dude, I really want to fuck that fox right now. And he's like, dude, fuck you, man. Fuck you, you fucking freak. And just walks out, and there's just this moment that he's like, oh shit, I guess I thought we were having a moment here. I thought, like, you wanted to see Robin Hood at 25 years old. I wanted to see Robin Hood. I thought we were literally going to dress up as Robin Hood and Lil Jon and just go fucking in the forest, you know, just like the song said. Oh, that's not what the fucking song said. What's that? I thought, let me say it again. Robin Hood, Lil Jon, fucking in the forest. Who did I?
Sucking dick, slapping ass all damn day. Is that the song?
Yeah, it's like, dude, that was clearly not the words at all. Like, what are you thinking?
Oh, I must have misinterpreted that.
He's like, "No, fuck you. Our friendship's over. Never again. Never again."
It is 1963. I just something need to yell that as they drive away.
Yeah.
No, so I'm just imagining that guy.
He's literally like the OG.
The OG furry who just had to bottle that shit up, and then it's like, I'm not. Then, like, you know, one day the internet, like, I'm not the only one. And I'm imagining if you're already into it, because I mean, the idea the guy was in fucking Modesto. Fucking, I know this isn't Felidae, but it all comes full circle because furry shit. So we'll get back to it. But I can't believe we forgot to talk about this. Just the idea that guy was doing that shit in Modesto too. It's just like, oh damn, you're brave, dude.
Yeah,
I'm giving you credit just for doing that shit here.
Well, it's like this, it only kind of relates because it's like, it sounds weird, but if you try to look up information on this movie, half the sites that are going to provide it to you come from the furry nation, you know? So it's, you know, you got to ask yourself, I mean, like, do you trust the furry's words? I mean, are they really people? Granted, all the sites that I went to, none of them like led me like into a stray, because I was just afraid it was just going to be like, you want to find more information? Well, guess what? We got more pictures of cats fucking. You know what I mean?
Well, if I can bring it full circle around, so it doesn't seem like I'm totally beating up on the furry community. I one time took a furry commission. It wasn't anything fucking porn related, but they just had their own little furry OC, and I'm like, okay, how much? All right, I'll do $40. Okay, here you go. So, and the person was cool, was fine, didn't ask for anything weird. So, they're out there. The normalish ones are out there. So.
Oh yeah, well, I'm not saying that it gets it either. I was fucking interested. I want to see what their fucking panel was. You know what I mean?
But when you see a dude frolicking around the Modesto Con, you can't help what the fuck is this guy's deal for a second, and then kind of point and laugh. When you actually see it,
because here it's one of those ones. There's just some things in life. I mean,
they don't really you don't hate them or dislike them or anything. It's just one of those things you can't help but chuckle at it, but at the same time it's just not judging at the same time.
It's so against nature. You are going so against the curve that I feel like you're entitled to fucking laugh at these people. You know what I mean? It's one of those ones and they should just kind of accept it. That's just kind of how it is. You're doing something super fucking goofy at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It's just, there's some things in life that, we don't need to take serious, It's just, you just understand you're doing something goofy,
Mm-hmm. This movie ain't goofy, though.
No, this movie's, fucking serious, and this movie...
The most intense, thing involving furries, probably.
Yeah, well, it's not even, there's nothing furries in it, technically.
Furries. Well,
they're cats.
I'm going to say yeah, it's true. They're not anthropomorphic animals, but the scene with those cats fucking, that probably got a lot of people going I know who I am now! The way that guy who saw Robin Hood back in the 1960s, just
and he starts singing the Aristocats. So he's like, everybody wants to be a cat. I'm gonna get my wolf mask on.
Well, that's old Phil. We don't really talk to him anymore. Not ever since we went to go see Robin Hood. What the fuck were you guys doing going to see Robin Hood together?
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna Phil, that freak?
Well, here's the thing. All right, here's the thing. I'm actually gay. I don't judge that. I'm gay. I can deal with that. But he wants to fuck an animal. That's a whole other deal. I can't do that. I was hoping. I was thinking yeah, man, I'm gonna get some fucking dick tonight. Then all of a sudden he's talking about fucking foxes, and I'm like, whoa.
Well, it's not that he wanted to fuck an actual fox. No. I could probably understand. I could get that. I mean, it's fucking weird, but okay, whatever. No, he wanted to fuck another guy dressed as a fox as he was dressed as a bear, or is the other way around? I can't fucking remember. I'm trying to really forget it. Now you're bringing it up 25 years later. That's what hard alcohol's been my whole life, and it hasn't erased any of those memories. Erases everything else. Shit, I don't remember my first 10 years, but God,
I'm trying to drink away that moment. That day it started the drinking problem. And then one day I walk into the movie theater. It's I've refused to watch anything with animated animals. And sure enough, I get my arm twisted. My friend comes across this weird Australian VHS for a movie called Felidae. And I'm like, okay, whatever, cats, animated. I think I'm past the whole animated cat fucking or animated fucking, whatever. We start watching it. I'm like, oh, God damn it! They found me!
This reminds me of the scene, though. If this movie came out in the U.S., though, this is the only thing you would have heard about on Fox News. They got cats fucking in a kid's cartoon! You know what I mean? I feel like it's all of 30 seconds of a movie. And that they would blow that out that was what the entire thing is about. They would have done the Mass Effect thing where it's just been you fucking alien, oh God, it's the whole game, it's just dick and alien and blah, 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 blah. And it's yeah, for 15 seconds. That's all it is.
Yeah, that totally would have happened. Well, this movie wouldn't even made it. They would have just been waiting at the border, like at the airport as they land down with the film reel.
Stop those Australians! Just these Mad Max boats coming across the ocean. What are they doing? Is that a thing of VHS is in the back? Oh God, one of them's got a laserdisc copy.
Stop those dirty Aussies!
Stop them at the international water line. Send the Coast Guard. Don't you dare let them bring that filth in here. It's actually made by Germans. Oh, the fucking Germans. I knew it. Coming back with a vengeance they are.
Another day, we gotta re-strategize. They turn around at the last minute right before they leave international waters.
But
then what ends up happening? God, what where we live off at? That's when he goes back to he's starting to piece it all together, and he pieced it all that okay, this cat that they all worship as a god, what they're trying to do is they're trying to back Felidae is actually a name of a cat species, and it's meant to be like the original, the pure cat. So it's like very much like the Nazis want to go back to the pure cats. It's the original.
Well, it's weird.
Cats.
It's like people bring that up, that they say it's like, oh, it's all Nazi related, this movie. I'm like, I think the only reason anybody brings that up is because it's made by Germans. If this movie was made by the French or the Japanese or the Chinese, I don't think that like connection would be there.
I think it would, just because it's the idea of like they even say they want to go back to a pure, unfiltered race. So I mean, it's hard to misconstrue that. I'm just making a joke. I'm not trying to shame the fucking makers of the movie, because it's clearly the view of the bad guys. So that's one of those things where people hear that, they get mad. Like, well, yeah, it's the bad guy saying it. That's why.
Because I remember, like, one of the first comments I saw in this movie, I didn't really mean to see it, just kind of popped up right there. It was like, this just looks like Nazi propaganda to me. I'm like, literally, if this movie was not German, I don't think that you would not even have said that phrase. I think that's the only reason that, like, the two connections come together. I mean, like, yeah, I guess there's, like, because it's got, like, gene splicing, and that's what this thing's all kind of about. And the whole thing they're saying is they want, like, what that cat's going, he's like, I want to go back to a time when cats weren't, like, just purely domesticated, you know? And, of course, Michael Madsen's like, I fucking love being domesticated! America! And it's like, oh, you're in Germany. But, yeah, well, whatever. Fuck, America sounds sweet, you know?
Deutschland!
Yeah.
No, and... Give me another whole fish so I can just gargle down in one gulp.
Yeah, like, oh, shit. Oh, dude, your can opener's fucking amazing. Would you quit calling him a fucking can opener? You love everything he does. He's like the nicest guy ever. Fucking he even petted you. He's like, yeah, fucking faggot. It's like...
Bet you like pets.
Yeah, but you love getting pet.
No, but like, well, right there, he's also forgot to mention, he has this dream where all these cats are ascending, and there's a cat, Felidae, who's up there saying, like, join me, brothers, come with me now. And all the other cats, whether they were alive or dead, all kind of go to, like, this heavenly realm, and that's where he wakes up. And that's where he goes back to the smart cat, voiced by John Hurt, Pascal, and says, hey, so I think I figured it out. All the cats that are getting killed are cats that would be considered to be unpure. And all the cats that have been spared are ones that are not, that would not have any real effect because they're closer to the Felidae gene. And that cat I fucked earlier today, and all of these murders happened during fucking, that cat I fucked earlier today, nothing happened to me, and I survived. And I kind of fall close to this gene. So, what's up? And Pascal comes out. He's like, well, you know what? Have you been having dreams lately? So that's where kind of this weird supernatural thing kind of comes in. Like, oh, wow, this actually is... I thought it was just going to be kind of like, you know, bullshit. Like, oh, these cats think they have a messiah or whatever. But like, oh, no, it actually goes supernatural for a second.
I also like, too, there's a part where, like, Michael Madsen's like, you know, there's all these fucking Egyptian cats moving in the neighborhood.
Coming in, taking our good old German jobs.
Yeah. Just like, oh, God, fucking, like, I can't stand these goddamn Egyptian cats coming in with their fucking pyramids, their pharaohs and stuff.
Their curry.
Yeah, fucking Tim Curry shit. Like, dude, you're just making shit up. Yeah, well, whatever. Fuck you, cat.
I ain't educated.
Fucking smart ass. I'm gonna use this term like 10 times in this movie because that's the only one I got.
I won't get old.
I read
and
a book once. It's fucking terrible.
It was stupid.
Yeah. And a bunch of lame pictures in it and everything like that. Couldn't even read it. It's like, well,
just took a fucking piss on it. Yeah. It's mine now because I took a piss on it.
Signed my name on it. Then I wiped it in someone's
Bluebeard
face.
Was here.
Yeah.
I think I wiped it in Kong's face. I think that's why he's trying to fuck me. I think he thought I was coming on to him.
Yeah, you know, I didn't realize he was into that stuff at that time period.
I guess I kind of dug myself into this hole, didn't I? Oh shit, he thinks I'm playing hard to get. Oh, it all makes sense now.
But I like, well, it's like, I guess you could kind of, sort of, you're saying that it's got like that supernaturalness because he's talking about like the dreams and how like they're kind of controlled or whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he even said, because what he's trying to do, what Pascal mentions he's trying to do, he says, first off, I am Patricius. I am the cat that survived. Secondly, I am the one who has been seeing out all these murders. Joker was in on it, and he took the fall because earlier they go by Joker and they find him dead, and they're like, "Oh well, look at it. It looks like he didn't put up a struggle. He just embraced it. So whatever happened, he was okay with it." So from there, we end up finding out that somehow Pascal was able to control it, and he was trying to bring almost kind of not. He knew he couldn't do it immediately, but kind of get the ball rolling and making cats more dominant over humans, because these Egyptian cats are apparently less tameable and way more wild. So the idea is to breed with more of them and try and get out everything else, which is less domesticated.
Mm-hmm. And they were trying to get back to being more like, I guess, animals instead of domesticated. Feral, wild. Which is kind of weird, because there's this really smart guy who's like, I want to go primal again. I want to, like, fucking take my shit and throw it at someone's face. And then, like,
I don't blame him for hating humans, even though he's all, like...
Even though he lives in, like... I love how he's got, like... There's, like, this room that they're always fucking hanging out at. And it's just got these, like, fucking Indian posters on the wall of just, like... Just these people just...
Egyptians fucking...
Well, it's not Egyptians. It's, like, India. It's, like...
Oh, wasn't it? Kama Sutra
Yeah,
stuff?
it's, like, Kama Sutras. Yeah. And they, like... I mean, like, they focus on those pictures, like, as background elements. Like, they're like, let's have a full-on conversation, or let's have a full-on conversation here, and there's just, like, some guys just, like, dick and balls above the cat. As they're trying to say something, like, very important, you like, it can't help but see this guy's fucking dick and balls behind me.
Well, I think it's also, they were always talking about, like, breeding and all that, so that was probably just there to help get it across, if I had to guess. But it's one of those things, I did notice that. I'm like,
it's just, it was
surprised you're sticking
so distracting, and they use that room, like, a couple times.
Surprised they're sticking with that angle so much.
Yeah, I know. It was kind of weird. It's like, this is the house. Well, so else too. I always wondered, like, what happens, like, okay, we see Francis's, man come home, but, like, we never see anybody else's, like, humans, like, walking around and stuff. It's like, does it, he doesn't come back and she's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing on the computer? Get the fuck off there, you stupid cat!
Just runs off.
Yeah,
like,
fucking asshole cat was on my computer again.
Oh, he's fucking making up files again, taking up all my fucking hard drive space.
We only got 20 megabytes here, you fucking cat.
94! Throws his fucking shoe at him. Every day I fucking come home. I gotta change. He always finds a way to hack in, type in a new password, put in all this fucking extra data.
This is cats entering this data and so on.
I was impressed at first, but it's starting to fucking piss me off.
Yeah, every day he's up there working this computer and so on.
But the other thing is, regarding that, like, what was I going to say? There's something else regarding the whole plan. What was it regarding that? Regarding the cats, regarding the... Shit. It was something regarding the whole plan they had. But anyway, one thing leads to another. And, well, Bluebeard, first off, gets attacked by Pascal, with Patricius, or whatever his name is. And I remember now. Patricius actually spoke to the doctor before he killed him.
Oh, yeah.
You find out the doctor that was doing all the testing on him, you find out that right before he killed him, he was actually able to talk to the doctor. They don't show it. There's a part where he says, like, where you hear the doctor, you assume he's going crazy for it. He's like, what's that? You want me to fight you in hand-to-hand combat? And then all of a sudden, that's where the video goes out.
Which it's also at the same time, like, he was also, like, fucking drinking, like, oh, hey, cat. So, like, you kind of makes you wonder, like, was he just drunk rambling talking to this cat, and the cat just kind of came out and just, like, murdered him in this process?
I think that could have been, like, a cool... I wish they showed that. Because I wish that would have been a cool scene.
It'd be cool if it was, like, shown from, like, the video camera's perspective. This is from, like, a distance, and the guy's just like, oh! Just cat, like, on the throat.
Well, part of me is wondering on the chance, like, I don't think it's going to happen, but say on the very, very small chance they modern Disney'd this thing. And then by that aspect, I don't mean Disney-ified it. I mean how Disney is taking all their old animated movies and making live-action versions of them. And I was thinking about, like, I was just kind of thinking about that in some aspect. And I was thinking about the scene where he says he killed the doctor. I think that could actually be kind of a cool, creepy scene. Like having the cat claw his neck and then look almost kind of like something similar to Long Live the King, but more of like, then come down and speak to him for a second. Like, I think that could actually come across as like some weird, like, culty type of shit, which I think that would have been interesting to see, you know?
Yeah, well, I also wonder, it's like, does the cat, like, I mean, I know it doesn't show it. There's a handful of these things you got to kind of, like, think of and kind of make out, like, in a sense. Kind of like, just like when there's the cat that has all the dead bodies and so on, like, it never explains it, but, like, you almost kind of go, oh, shit, what happened? Is it, like, when they were experimenting on these cats, they were just throwing them down the dumpster, and they just happened to land by where this cat was, and he thought that was all part of the plan. Because I think the cat stuff still, even though maybe there's like that little bit of supernatural, I still think it's kind of like in the reality. So I think that the guy was just happened to be hammered drunk, and when he opened the cage, thinking he was talking to the cat, and the cat almost maybe thought he was talking to him, it was more like it didn't really happen.
I guess
he was really murdered, but he didn't really talk to him. Let's just say that.
I like to think that he did, just because he was already somehow Patricius was controlling his dreams to some effect. So I like to think it kind of went all like witchcraft, supernatural for a second. I think that would be cool, and I think that would have been a cool scene to see. I know I'm talking about a movie that came out in '94, but still, whatever. It's not really that much of a missed opportunity. I just think it would have been interesting. You know, a good creepy scene possibly. But
because there's actually like no violence to like humans in this thing.
Just show him clawing at his neck, just like yelling or screaming at him, and like, you know, like, you fucking piece of shit, like or you know, like, we are the supreme race or some shit like that, you know. But then after that's where they have this whole fight. That's where Francis and Pascal, aka Patricius, have this whole crazy fight. And it's just not like, oh, slash, Kitty's dead. It's like full on, like, slash, you're seeing organs, ribs just tumble out of this thing. Like,
well, first there's a battle that goes on
bag.
before they get to that part. Like, they get in this whole cat battle, and they're scratching each other, and they're rolling around. And then somehow, some way, they're like, they knock the computer over, and then it, like, blows up, and it starts a fire. So it almost has that feeling of almost like in The Lion King of, like, Simba fighting, like, Scar, but, like, 10 times more badass. And, like, that's kind of like, they keep going, there's like blood's being drawn and so on, but then like the final blow that Francis does is he literally takes his claws and rips it down the fucking belly, and just all the guts and everything pours out. So it has like, it's not just like, it comes out like all at the very end, just like this huge finale, like fatality almost going on.
Like a Mortal Kombat level shit.
Yeah, so it's just like totally badass. And then he goes down and finds fucking Michael Madsen cat down there fucking bleeding out and has to drag him out. And of course Michael Madsen's down by the fucking Kama Sutra pictures again. Where else would he be in this house that has 2 rooms? And it fucking drags him out into like the snow or whatever, and you know.
You're not sure if he lives or dies.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of weird because it's like, at first I thought, I'm like, oh shit, is it going to cut the credits right there? Because I'm like, that would be like one of those like I mean, like, it would kind of leave you with some like questions, but like, I feel like that's like a fucking ballsy way to go out. Is just having these 2 cats fucking laying here in the snow, fucking bleeding out as a house burns. You know what I mean?
Well, then like, Pascal's dying words are something to the effect of like, I became one of them. I became human. Like the idea that the idea that he became as cruel as a human rather than, you know, fighting for cats, knew it was right for cats. Like he lost his way kind of thing. And yeah, and I think for a second I thought it was going to end with all these, you know, just these 1 cat bleeding out, guts out in a fire, the other 2 cats just dying out in the snow. And then it just cuts to the next day or 2 days later maybe. And Francis is out and about just walking around, and he's narrating as he was earlier. He says like, yo, so Pascal lost his way, but hey, gentle viewer, don't lose your faith in humanity or cats. One day, we're all going to get together and get along. I'm going to go fuck that cat over there now.
Yeah, it's like literally just hits him like, yeah, you know. Well, it's kind of like, I will say like the ending is a little bit like, I don't know, like, it felt like you had this huge build-up dark moment, and then it's just like, yeah, whatever, we can all get along. It almost has, like, almost a Disney-like ending, like, whatever, so we're all best friends in the long run. Like, what about Michael Madsen cat? Fuck him, he's dead. He ain't getting any of this cat poontang.
Have you listened to did you actually listen to the Boy George song that was playing?
Yeah, I did. I was actually very amazed by that song.
Well, it's also, like, it does the whole thing that, like, so many, like, rap songs in the 90s did. Like, here's the motherfucking movie you just watched!
Yeah.
Where Boy George does his version of that, being like, this is like, Felidae means like adventure. That also means trouble. Or then some point, he's like, we gotta find out who killed Deep Purple. Like that's one of the cats. That's like the first cat they went after. This cat named Deep Purple.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
So it's one of those movies. I'm gonna say this. It's definitely not for everybody.
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah, it's the same time. I'll say this though, it's still worth watching. I enjoyed it. I don't know if it's a movie I need to go out and own or like watch all the time.
Well, you can't own it, so
there's ways, but black market dealings. I mean, won't surprise me the least bit if this is like one of those movies that's banned in America. Like I don't know if 1984 is banned, which also has John Hurt.
Yeah.
Then maybe it wouldn't surprise me if this was too. Like Clockwork Orange is still banned in the UK apparently.
Not now. It was for many years.
When was it? Do you know when it was okay?
Whenever that special edition 2-disc version that we have of it came out, that's when it was okay.
So probably somewhere like in 2008 or 9. Around there.
Maybe mid 2000s or so. But
okay.
But yeah, this is one of those movies that like you literally, it even says it on fucking Wikipedia that like the only like way to really watch it is to go to YouTube and check it out. Like that's the way to do it. But like I actually was really impressed by the movie. I think it was actually a really good film. If you're into animation, it's like I would say a must watch unless you're a fucking pussy or something like that. But like
no pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. But it's like totally a must watch for anybody who's hardcore into animation or like creativeness and so on. Like it's definitely like one of those movies like I would say it's like a must see unless you're just weak of mind. That's the only people that I say like get the fuck out of here. But then again, yeah.
You don't like if you don't got a strong. Well, I'm not even gonna say if you don't have a strong stomach.
Well, no, because it's not like that. Because it's not.
But it's not. Well, it's not real. But I'm gonna say it's like one of those things. Like some people don't like things that intense, that dark, and it's a movie I think that's definitely worth watching. But I, at the same time, can't say I recommend it to everybody.
Yeah.
Like I know that this is at the same time though, like you said, if you are into animation and you're interested in some weird random European movie, definitely check it out.
And the weird thing about this movie too is it's also one of those ones like really if you kind of just minused out the violence and the adult themes, it plays out like it could be a Don Bluth movie or like it could easily be like a PG movie. It just goes that little bit of an extra distance just to push it into that hard R, which like it's kind of interesting because the way it goes about like it doesn't feel like it's going like we're so making this we're gonna make this like this. It just kind of happens that way. It's just like, oh, okay. And that's what I think I kind of liked about it is like it didn't feel like he was trying to like clearly the people putting this together didn't like when they were just like, oh, we're just making a cat movie, based off this cool book that we all like with a cool premise, and it's like, and I think it's just like one of those like, oh, so you guys don't want this in the UK and America, and we thought you guys love cats. I felt like it was like we put 10,000, Deutschmarks into this, or 10 million Deutschmarks. Like, shit, we're never gonna get that back now.
Well, even that, I'm gonna say, even if you're a cat person, not sure this movie's for you.
Because cat people mostly they just love cats and they can't accept death and all that kind of stuff. So it's not made. It's really not made for people that are like. It sounds weird. It's not made for people that are like cat people. I think it's made for people that like are fine with watching animals die. Like I don't mean that like in a weird sadistic way, but like. They understand that that's the way life is. Sometimes Old Yeller just has to go, and that's something you just got to understand.
Well, it's like, I just thought of if they brought it to America, I thought of a good tagline could have. It takes a pussy to solve some crime.
Really is. It's like, well, it's like, if you like Humphrey Bogart, and you like cats, you like this movie.
You like some of this pussy.
Yeah, with some Michael Madsen pussy on top.
Come get some Michael. Just a picture of Bluebeard. Felidae, come get some Michael Madsen pussy.
And I definitely think this is one you definitely should watch the dub because I don't know, like without Michael Madsen cat, like I just feel like I don't know, maybe the German guy that plays it is very good, but like I like the Michael Madsen cat. Just like that's the best part of it.
He sounds like Michael Madsen, but if he spoke German, he just sounds like it's just like Michael Madsen already sounds like he's like gargling gravel.
Yeah.
So add that with a German accent, same thing. No, I'm gonna say check this movie out, and like I said earlier, that's kind of funny. This is a book series, and the book series is going on until 2012. So Yeah.
Be interesting to see if they've ever made any other like continuation, like maybe not like, or just some other type of movies that have come out throughout the years that are kind of like based on this book series or something. Because it's like, I don't know, I'm kind of like, it's a very intriguing like kind of concept of this like noir fucking cat story.
I couldn't find a whole lot. I really went. I mean, I didn't look that hard, but I didn't within like 15 minutes I put into searching for stuff for this movie as well as the book series. I mean, I'm sure I could probably find like oh, in this book this happens, but even on Wikipedia, there were some like things. Some of the books weren't even on Wikipedia. Like, oh yeah, this book happened. What's in it? I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. There really is like absolutely no information. Like even the actors, like nobody's even 100% sure on like all these actors too at the same time. Like, and like, as I said, like I can only find like 6 of the voice actors. Obviously there's, probably 25 people in this movie for the dub. There's just so much mystery to it. And it said something about like on the German Blu-ray or whatever, there's fucking special features. So Germany always gets the best. It's just like Super Mario Brothers movie. Like, why is Germany the only ones that get the fucking movie? You know what I mean? Like, come on, like, what is so special that like Germans just get like all these like copies of movies that like nobody else gets?
I think it's one of those things like
they're like,
I don't know. Maybe they just remember
World War I and how you treated us. Now we get all the special edition Blu-rays. It was in our contract, 80 years ago.
I want to give credit to how I found this movie in the first place, and I said like some random YouTube. I don't apologize for saying that because I actually watched a few of this dude's videos, just talking on strange random movies. Brandon's Cult Movie Reviews. That's where I saw it on. That's what informed me on this movie. And the thumbnail is of Francis surrounded by dead cats and like one rib cage is busting open. I saw that. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I must know. And yeah, so yeah, that's where I found it. And check out Brandon's Cult Movie Reviews because that's what put me here in the first place. So it put me to find this movie. So yeah.
But yeah, this is one of those movies though that does, it feels like it needs to be spread around. Like it almost reminds me of one of those ones that it shouldn't be as lost of a movie as it is because it's just too well made. You know what I mean? This is like the kind of like I say, it's like, I mean, it's almost like if like Citizen Kane just got shoved away and they're like, let's never watch this fucking movie again. Stupid. You know what I mean? And just like, and then all of a sudden it got kind of fucking discovered. Like somebody's like, oh dude, I had a fucking Australian copy of Citizen Kane that I whipped up on YouTube. You know what I mean? It's just like, all of a sudden it's like, what the fuck? Why is this movie like, it's just like too good of a film to be like hidden away like in time. And it's kind of a bummer it sort of is because it's more well made than a whole lot of other Disney and fucking Don Bluth films out there and like a lot of like Fox ones and so on. Like it's like all of that caliber, They weren't recycling a bunch of animation like they were in Disney in that period, like in the 70s and part of the 80s when they were just like, we're low on fucking money, just recycle this part from the Jungle Book, recycle this part from Robin Hood. Yeah, I know, exactly. But even though, oddly enough, I'm like one of those people though, like I like that. I like the period of Disney that everybody seems to like not like nearly as much. Those are some of my favorite movies because those are the ones I grew up with. I'm like, fuck you. I love Robin Hood. Telling me that Robin Hood's the worst Disney movie ever made? Fuck you. People say that? Yeah, I've seen it before. It's like, it's always on like the low end of the fucking Disney list. And then like, I fucking love Great Mouse Detective, Rescuers Down Under, fucking Oliver and Company. Fuck you. I like The Rescuers. I liked, Great Mouse Detective. I don't remember that one. It's the Sherlock Holmes one. It's just Sherlock Holmes with a mouse. Yeah. They're fucking. Yeah. Well, that maybe, but yeah. There's probably. It's the one Sherlock Holmes where like Sherlock fucks Watson. Just like what? I got a clue. I got like a raging clue right now. The Hardy Boys. I just realized something. Well, I mean, this movie's kind of creepy, so I guess it fits, but. We didn't do anything for Halloween this year. I guess unless you consider this movie. This movie almost could be considered a Halloween movie when you really think about it. I mean, it's not like a traditional one because it's more of a murder mystery, but it's not saying it could still work. Yeah, it still kind of fits in that realm, but maybe we should get closing up here. Okay. So if you want to check out oldmanorange.com for more podcasts, cartoons, music, comics, and all that fun stuff, you can go there. Till then, I'm Spencer Scott Holmes. And I'm Ryan Dunn. Oh, wait, hold up. 1 sec. Somebody's over here. Hey, what's up? Oh, hey, dude. What's going on, Mike? Dude, that's an awesome Michael Myers outfit. Dude, I don't even know. Are you my roommate's friend? Oh, fuck! Oh, he's coming through the screen. Thanks again for listening to the Old Man Orange podcast. Sure, check out oldmanorange.com for more podcasts, cartoons, music, animation, and a whole lot more. We also have the Old Man Orange blog going with all kinds of fun stuff. If you easily want to support the show, use one of our Amazon links either on the website or in the description of the podcast below. Rate, review, and subscribe to the show either on Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Newgrounds, or anywhere else that you seem to get this podcast from. Grab the sitcom-styled comic book Pizza Boys on either Comic Central, Comixology, or Amazon. Want more podcasts? Check out the Indie Comics Club over at Comic Central. I also got a workout website called Thor's Hidden Gym, filled with fitness tips and tricks, videos, and a whole lot more fun stuff in the calisthenics world. Talk to us on Twitter at Spencer S. Holmes and Dunigan Ryan. Like our Facebook pages of Old Man Orange Productions and Pizza Boys Comic. Thanks again. We're out of here.